Came out recently with the guy from Maze Runner.
Which is... Street Clean?
What is that?
Times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you
I love that you put Warcraft on here. I love that movie.
You love that movie?
Yeah.
I did too.
I wish that it had done better so we could have got a sequel. Go? Yeah, you're good. Oh, okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast. We are sitting right in the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and, get this, pop culture. I'm bright. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for adjusting the lights. Folks, I'm Israel Wright. It's great to be back with you. I'm a former Green Beret. With me, as always, the invariable...
What does that mean?
I mean, it's without variation. Like, there's no
variation. There's like no
you can't but I don't think it's necessarily applied to a person, like a character
I'll
trait.
take it!
I just wanted to come up with something cool sounding.
That's cool, man. I appreciate the effort. Always appreciate the effort. What's going on, folks? Y'all know me, Cameron Pfaff, former Army Ranger, and you guys are tuned in to the final episode of Season 1. Yes, folks, this is it.
This is it, folks.
If you're listening to this and you've listened to 51 episodes, or 50 episodes, plus this one, because we haven't gotten to the end of it. You haven't finished listening to it yet.
You're not there yet.
You're not there yet. Congratulations. You've made it to the end of Season 1. We are super happy that we were able to push out 51 episodes for your guys' enjoyment.
Been doing this for about a year, right?
Been doing this about a year, and I think it's time to take a little creative break and brainstorm and come at you guys hot and heavy with some great pop culture content and stuff for this podcast. So we just want to take a second. Okay, 1 second's over. But no, for real, thank you guys for the support. Thank you for your interaction with us through our email, through the Instagram page, any literally channel that you guys have reached us on and interacted with us has been fantastic, and you make it worth it.
Yeah, you guys make this really fun to do. It's I can't believe it. Chris actually had the idea. We've said this before, but like he's like, you guys want to do a podcast? I'm like, sure. And then it's like it's grown to what it is now, which is for me, just a great regular part of my content creation career. You know, like it's another great platform to be on and just have fun and interact with you guys and just share fun stories and talk about nerdy things, you know, and that have to do with like military and firearm stuff. So it's been
the
fun.
Best.
We're taking it's not a large break. We're gonna take a little break.
Yeah, tiny break.
Because our Chris by this time has probably moved or is in the process of moving. So we're gonna reestablish the logistics of that and get some more ideas out there and really try to pump up. We want to try to expand a little bit if we can. I don't know, like, we got the coffee. We got the Buy Me a Coffee thing, which has been great. You guys have been amazing. We really appreciate that. Maybe something like a Patreon or something like that, because we want to keep building this thing out. Because, it's a lot of fun, and I want to see how many people we can reach.
It is, and that's the key. It is fun, man. This is not work. Oh. I mean, we look forward to doing this podcast. It's kind of like a break from work.
Right, yeah.
So we're happy you guys are enjoying it. All the feedback we received from the listeners and the viewers on the YouTube has just been such a motivator to keep pushing these out. So small break, reestablish, and then hit it hard.
Yep, we're going to do it.
So today's episode is going to be about invasions.
Yes, the invasion episode. I love this. Is a good idea. There's so many good ideas that expand your mind. You're like, oh, an invasion, and you think, how is that? But then you're like, oh wait, there's a lot of stuff we could talk about. So
exactly.
I'm really excited. I feel like this is gonna be a fun one.
Exactly. So
I like the title.
Enough, brown nosing to you fellas and lady fellas.
Yeah.
Let's get into this episode.
Filladies.
Filladies.
Filladios.
Fladdles.
Fladles? Fladles? Dreidels?
Because I'm thinking fellas and females.
Flailing ladies.
Fellas,
Fladles.
ladies. Fladles.
Flailing ladies with ladles in their hands.
All right, we'll talk about it. All right, first one's up. Invasions. Let's send it back home to his story.
Yeah.
To his story.
His story.
To her story. To
Our-
history.
our story.
Our story. Let's talk about Dunkirk, dude.
Oh, yeah, let's do Dunkirk, man. Yeah.
Yeah, one in Nolan film.
Yeah.
Epic film.
Epic film. 2017, Christopher Nolan. Stars nobody
Yeah.
and everybody.
Yes.
Because it's an ensemble cast. But I never knew about this until like 6-7 years ago, just before maybe this movie came out. But the idea of like Dunkirk, so it's World War II, right? And it's World War II.
Is it
It's World War II.
Okay.
Yes, it's World War II. Oh my gosh. 1940, Germany advanced into France to trap the Allied troops at the time on the beaches of Dunkirk. So they were completely surrounded. It was like what? 300,000 troops? 300,000 French, British, Belgian, and Dutch soldiers were on the beaches, and they basically didn't have a way to get home. So what happened was I think at the time, Winston Churchill, they activated civilian boats. They're like, any civilian boat we can do, we're going to a giant flotilla worth of boats.
You want to serve your country, kid?
Yeah, grab that boat. And they sent them over there to pick them all up, and they ended up evacuating, I think, most of them. You know, it was this amazing kind of, they called it the miracle at Dunkirk, I think, at the time. When I had heard about Dunkirk in the past, it's just a name generally that you associate with World War II if you don't know anything. But, excuse me, we just had lunch. Every fourth episode, keep an ear out for the burps. But, because that's usually after we've had lunch. Anyway, I thought it was a victory or something. They called it the miracle at Dunkirk. I'm like, what happened? Like, oh, we retreated. I'm like, wait, what? It's like, no. You don't understand. Like,
It was a miracle we survived.
allowed hundreds of thousands of troops to get back. They reestablished. America started coming in and doing its thing. We reestablished, and then we came back in force, and we won World War II. But yeah, what an amazing movie, Dunkirk. What is it? Tom Hardy. He's the pilot.
Yeah, Tom is the
And
pilot.
it's cool. For those that don't know, I mean, if you've listened to this podcast, you've probably seen it because this is kind of your thing. But it takes place in 3 different spans of time. The one on the beach is 2 weeks. And then there's there's the boat that's coming this way. That's 1 day. And then the plane combat with Tom Hardy, that's 1 hour. Yeah. And it jumps back and forth. And eventually, at some point in the movie, they all meet with each other and they all cross. So it's just an interesting way to do time stuff, and I'm sure that was a nightmare to timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. To storyboard it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just an interesting way to do it and really well done.
Yeah, I love the effects. I love the feeling because the cinematography is great.
Yeah.
All the
It
shots
gets
that
you
they
in-
have.
it gets you in
I
there.
love the giant wide shots that show just how big, just how large of a force was trying to be evacuated.
Mm-hmm.
I think, let's see here. It says, I just had it. Where'd it go? I don't know. But I think what it said was, there it is. So in the end, about 198,000 British troops were taken away, as well as 140,000 Allied troops, mainly French, though most of the equipment had been left behind. So, quick math, over 300,000 troops evacuated in that event.
Yeah.
That's a big force.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, at the time, they're all just sitting ducks.
Yeah, and by mostly civilian ships, right?
Yeah.
Because every time they'd send a ship over, and it shows it in the movie, they'd send a big, like medical frigates and stuff like that, pick up a bunch of dudes, bam, get hit by a torpedo. A torpedo.
Sharknado! Boom, got hit by a
comes by
Sharknado.
and they all die. Yeah, the torpedo, and it shows it, man, that the whole thing when the ship slowly starts to tilt and fill up with, so scary, man.
That is scary.
Oh, I feel so bad.
That's why I hate the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I hated the water long before 2017, but that's another reason not to go in, because you'll get torpedoed.
You get torpedoed.
And then eaten by a shark.
Maybe. It's okay. I'd rather be. No, I mean, now I'm thinking about it because, airborne operations are so ineffective nowadays. Back then, they were cool.
Yeah. It was an effective way of getting a lot of soldiers in on a battlefield, but now we just don't fight wars that way anymore.
Yeah, no way.
Yet.
Now it's more effective to just, have tanks roll in clear and have boots on the ground follow.
Air superiority, small, kind of modular, kind of tactics these days.
Yeah, but that invasion was done by the German. I mean, the Blitzkrieg was such a fast, kinetic...
lightning war, yeah.
Lightning. I mean, they were moving lightning. I mean, that's why it's called the Blitzkrieg.
Yep.
So it was like, it catches you off guard. And if you think about a comparison at a really small scale, when you think about like clearing buildings, like what do you need? Speed, surprise, violence of action. And that's exactly what the... Because if you lose one, you lose them all, right? You've probably heard me say that a bunch of times. So they had speed, they had the surprise, and Germany did it with extreme violence. So they were able to successfully do it because they had all those elements.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can see the impact that it did.
And they'd been building up too. I think that the German war machine, they've been manufacturing this stuff for getting ready to do this. When did they invade? I should know this, because when did the Germans invade Poland? Like 1938 or something like that. We've done episodes on this before.
God, this is what happened.
We had a whole German episode.
I gotta stop
Russian and Nazi
drinking.
episode.
Germany's invasion of the Low Countries in northern France in May 1940. On May 10th, the German Blitzkrieg attack on the Netherlands began and captured by parachutists of key bridges deep within the country. Yeah, so 1940-ish.
Okay, all right.
We'll call it ish. Yeah. I'm no historian.
Yeah, listen, folks. You don't come to this podcast to listen to historically accurate.
Yeah. You come to this podcast to hear us butcher it, and then you send us an email with the correct information.
Know why you really listen, so you can correct us in the comments. You guys don't even know. You want to go to Vietnam? You're a weirdo.
Yeah.
Nice. Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, great movie.
Great movie.
They did it justice. I think
Yes. I want to talk about this one next. Warcraft. 2016. Starring Ragnar Lothbrok and a bunch of other great people.
That's not Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah, it's Ragnar Lothbrok. The actor is Ragnar Lothbrok.
Oh, the one in Vikings?
Yeah, the one in Vikings. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, like, that's not a character in WoW.
He's not in it.
No.
But I like that you put this in the invasion episode because it is.
It is an invasion.
The orcs basically
invaded
cross dimensions into the
portal.
Azeroth.
They took the dark portal and tried to invade Azeroth. And let me tell you, sir, this is an invasion episode. If you're expecting just human invasions, you're fucking dead wrong, kid. No. I threw this one in there just because World of Warcraft has always played something. I went to BlizzCon in 2010.
God, you're so lucky.
Yeah, I saw Tenacious D, and I touched my first boobie because the lady next to me was like, "You want to touch my boob?" And I was like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old kid. I was like, "Yeah, poke."
Tenacious boob.
Yeah, Tenacious boob. But yeah, dude, that was cool. I think it was a long time coming for that movie because World of Warcraft, I was saying since Vanilla came out that like they need a movie because their cinematics, like in the beginning of all of their expansions, they didn't even need to make a live action movie.
They could have made an animated movie.
Yeah, they could have made an animated movie with just their cinematics, and I thought it would have crushed because wow, like you look at like the Vanilla, and then the Burning Crusade one, and the Wrath of the Lich King, and then Cataclysm. All the cinematics.
I've watched these cinematics. I've never played a moment of World of Warcraft, but I love the cinematics.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, just like I've never played Overwatch, but I love all the cinematics.
Yeah,
so funny.
But it's cool. I was a huge World of Warcraft nerd growing up. I even read the books. Rise of the Horde. I did a book report on Rise of the Horde.
That's awesome.
What was her name? Chelsea Golden? I forgot her name. But yeah, that was. I think it tells a good story, and I'm glad they did it when they did. I thought it was an entertaining movie.
Now, in terms of the lore, it takes place before the events of the game or during or something. Because I heard
this is the beginning. So this is like vanilla as far as I'm concerned. So like the dark portal. It's like so. And there goes my laptop. My laptop died. Anyways, off the top of the dome. Okay. The events of this movie, if I'm correct, are basically watching how the orcs became corrupted. Because obviously they lived on a different place. They were a different place. They weren't on Azeroth. Yeah. So they existed in different tribes. And you had the story of like Duraton. And you had the story of like Orgrim Doomhammer. And you got all these really big figures that aren't really portrayed in the video game, but like in the cinematic universe and the lore of World of Warcraft. Any of you WoW nerds, correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, Duraton lived on Durotar, and he kind of was like the savior. But Gul'dan came in and introduced like dark magic.
Yeah, that's why they became green?
Yeah, that's why they're originally like tan kind of fleshy and orange. Colored, and so he started corrupting them and basically... kind of united the tribes because they were all like in different portions. So they united the tribes, introduced dark magic.
Unite the clans.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, I can, this world is dying. We need to go do a new one. He opened the dark portal, and all the orcs went and tried to take Azeroth, and that's when the humans are trying to defend back against it.
Nice.
But yeah, I think the movie was very entertaining. The books are really good, surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm not a book guy. I'm not.
I'm not
even
a reader.
growing up. Yeah, I don't read. I lead. Okay. Those were books that I couldn't put down as a kid, and that was really hard for me to do. So I was like, Christy Golden. That's her name. Christy Golden was Rise of the Horde by Christy Golden. That's a good book. But yeah, I think I like video game lore. I like fantasy lore.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
like
probably part of the reason that I was so attracted to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the initial invasion that like set off the pace, and then they go back through the dark portal and like burn a crusade of the game. It's cool, man. I really liked it.
Do you get to play through some of these events in the game or no?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
The game's big. The game's super big.
Yeah.
It's like the first expansion, you only got to play 2 regions.
Okay.
And then when the Burning Crusade came on, you got to play the next region, which was like you have to go through the Dark Portal and Wrath of the Lich King. Introduced the 3rd region, and each expansion of the game, like a new part of the map opens up.
Okay, cool.
But I probably got the beginning of that wrong.
Still a strong fan base, still played today a lot.
Yeah,
I know. I got a friend who plays, who's been playing it on her stream. So
yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I was
Sunshine.
But yeah, it's a good game, just dynamic, man.
Yeah.
It used to be really good. I think it kind of went down a rabbit hole when Cataclysm came out, and then the rest of it kind of was been falling downhill.
Yeah.
It's just so big now. It's like I don't even want to play it anymore just because it's so big.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, but anyways.
Well, the movie's good.
The movie's good.
I like the movie because they, in something like this, sometimes it's hard. Like they focus on maybe the world building, the set design, the character, But like I thought there's some good writing. They build the relationships. You know who the people are. You care about them because they have. Travis Fimmel has his son, and then you actually, was it Durotan?
Yeah,
Durotan. You sympathize with him. It actually starts with him.
Yeah, because he's almost
having a baby, having a
Yeah.
son. Yeah, and he's trying to do the right thing, and he's kind of gotten caught up in in Gul'dan's kind of plots and stuff. But then he turns against him at the end and tries to fight him, and it doesn't go well for him. But he has the legacy, that will live on. And so I was really touched by being emotionally connected to CGI characters, which is very hard to do in a movie. But I thought they did a good job. They built out the world. I want to see more of them. I don't know if we ever will. But like you got Ben Foster's character he's Medivh. Yeah, Medivh. He ends up being the bad guy. He ends up being
Medivh is like
taken
a
over by
giant demon.
Taken over by the magic.
Yeah, I think.
Feeling the magic.
Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just gonna go down a rabbit hole and see what I remember because it's been Medivh actually influenced Gul'dan.
Yeah, well, they were connected. He was the one who ended up being the connection to our world that allowed Gul'dan to come
Medivh
through.
gave Gul'dan the power.
Oh, okay.
He's like, this is because he's a demon.
Yeah.
So he gave him the demon power, and that's how the orcs turned green. And he's like, come to this world. It's
Yep.
So I think that's what happened. Yeah, there's a lot of characters. My computer's back alive, folks.
Well, it's cool because it sounds like they really went into the lore and they understood the game, which is cool. I'm sure something that's in adaptation today. The main thing doesn't seem to be faithfully adapt the source material. It seems to be like, hey, let's use this as a vehicle for saying whatever it is we want to say.
Yeah, no, they stuck to it. They stuck to the script, the origin story, which was cool.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because that to me says that you don't have to. If you have a good source material, you don't need to do anything special with it.
No.
You just tell the story, right? And that's because that's why people liked the source material in the first place. If you go around changing a bunch of stuff, you're like, well,
this isn't what I wanted to watch.
What we grew up with. This isn't what we ended up playing or watch. Yeah, this is what we wanted to watch. So, Warcraft, good stuff.
Warcraft, that's a good pick, man.
Yep.
You pick another.
Let's do Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but I see you have the 1993. This is kind of like Treasure Island. It's been adapted more than a couple of times. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. The one that I grew up with, which is like super unnerving and kind of a downer ending, but the one with Donald Sutherland. Yeah, Donald Sutherland, the 1970s version. Donald Sutherland, and actually Leonard Nimoy is in it too.
Well, the reason I picked that was because
the 93 version.
I wanted to hear you nerd out on it.
Oh,
Because I've never seen it. And I've
you've never seen it?
No, I've heard you mention it before, and I wanted you to go in on it.
I mean, the Invasion of the Body
Sometimes
Snatchers.
I don't need to watch movies because you just go in on it. And I'm like, okay, I got my fill.
There's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. There's like Puppet Masters or something like that. Or, but anyway, it's been done a couple times. It's basically an invasion of like there's like this bacteria that like gets in it creates these little pods. These pods connect up to people, and then they create copies of people, and then they basically suck the life out of the original, and then they look like everybody else. That's the kind of, it's very much like The Thing, where it's like it looks like us, but it's not us, and that's the unnerving kind of. I'm sure there was some political kind of inspiration.
This isn't
for the
a
original
political
story.
podcast.
This is not a political podcast. But yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it's the same basic premise where it's like you don't know who's who, and then they start expanding and getting more and more, and pretty soon it's like they start taking over society. You know?
Is this like a unity thing, or is
Yeah,
this...
it's a hive mind.
It's a hive
Unity!
mind?
Yeah.
Do they have like a queen, or is it just a hive mind?
No, it's just a hive mind. They don't have like a central intelligence agency.
How do they know? Is it kind of like The Thing?
Well, now, yeah, it's.
Because,
I'm not really
like the blood, when they burn the blood in The Thing.
Oh,
it, like,
yeah,
goes,
how to tell them apart and stuff like that.
Do they know how to like tell them apart? Like, how
Oh,
did they
that's
combat
interesting.
it, or is just, it's too late?
I forgot how they did it. Well, when they start taking over, they have the whole scream thing where they point and they go,
Right.
when you're not one of them, they go, and then you have to run and stuff like that. But the 70s one was pretty depressing because it like they're trying to get away, and this girl and the guy get separated, and they follow the guy. The camera follows the guy, and then you don't really know what happens to him, and then it kind of jumps ahead a little bit. And one of the things they had done was they had like they don't show emotion, so that's one of the things. Like they don't show emotion,
Like happiness,
yeah,
sadness.
sadness.
They're just
so you can tell if they're
monotone?
not. Yeah, they're like all monotone and stuff
So
like that.
you just have to go around cracking jokes.
And if they don't laugh, they're aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it follows the main guy around, and he's like, so they've pretended to be emotionless and stuff, and that's how they kind of snuck around initially. But then it follows him, and then they're in a park. He's walking through a park, and the girl you see, she comes back and she's like, "Hey, it's me," and he goes, "Me," and it turns out that he's an alien too, and that's like, then the aliens win. That's how the 70s version they've had.
That's like a
subsequent,
Twilight Zone.
It's a very Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
But subsequent versions have had it where they like the Americans, the humans end up fighting back, and they end up being okay, maybe-ish, something like that. But anyway, it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, good invasion movie from the sci-fi kind of era,
I had one on this list that I have not seen, but just based on the cast, I was like, I need to see this
We need
movie.
to see this.
And I want to bring it up and see if you've seen it. Have you seen Invasion USA?
I haven't. I watched the trailer last night because I saw your outline and stuff. But it's Chuck Norris. It's an
Chuck
action
Norris.
movie.
Yeah,
and it's
I was just like,
it's
okay.
Russians. It's Russian. This Richard Lynch is the main Russian bad guy, and he sends. It's so funny watching these dudes, all just a bunch of Caucasian dudes running up the beach, taking over. They get in like vans and stuff, and they're all. It's like this little family. Like the family is in like the ideal like neighborhood, and they go inside their house, and then a guy comes by with a bazooka, just blows up the house. It's
That's
just
awesome.
so corny and ridiculous. But Chuck Norris.
It's exactly what I expect out of a movie with Chuck Norris in it.
Yeah, it's
And
a total like 80s action movie.
The reason I picked it is because I read the synopsis, and it said, millions of innocent lives are at risk, and it's up to Matt, who's Chuck Norris,
Yeah.
the National Guard, and the FBI to save them. Pack your bags, kids. We're dead. Like when it said the National Guard,
and
I
the
was
FBI.
like, oh fuck, they're fucked.
His name is Matt Hunter.
Matt Hunter.
The most
I'll read-
most 80s American name.
And I'll read this this description of the movie because I definitely have. It's on my long list of movies that over 51 episodes that I've accumulated. So
That you need to see.
the break is to give me enough time, and that's about like 2 years to watch all these movies in a row. So 1985. Retired CIA agent Matt Hunter, aka Chuck Norris, is forced back into the business when a villain from his past reemerges. Soviet Mikhail Rostov, played by Richard Lynch, a terrorist whom Matt once caught, wants to exact revenge. After failing to find Matt at his Everglades home, Rostov and his army of communist guerrillas begin carrying out terrorist attacks all over southern Florida. millions of innocent lives are at risk, and it's up to Matt, the National Guard, and the FBI to save them. It's just like you're tanning on a beach in Miami in a very skimpy bikini. You just get like your fucking neck sliced.
Yeah. Oh, did you see? Just a side note. Did you ever see? American Assassin. American Assassin came out recently with the guy from Maze Runner. It's based on a series of American Assassin. But basically, that's how the movie starts. Is this guy and his girlfriend are on a beach, and then Islamic terrorists come and they just start shooting, and it's all one shot
On a beach?
Yeah, on a beach, it's a beach resort.
Oh.
You know. Yeah, American Assassin. It's got Birdman in it, or Batman rather. Michael Keaton. Yeah, Michael Keaton. Dylan O'Brien. Yeah, Dylan O'Brien. Mitch Rapp. The Mitch Rapp series of books is a series of espionage books. I've read one of them. I can't remember.
You said it's a series or a movie?
It's a movie, American Assassin, but it's based on a series of books. Came out in 2017.
It's kind of like a Tom Clancy movie.
Yeah, very much in the Tom Clancy vein. Yeah, Mitch Rapp is supposed to be a bit bigger than Dylan O'Brien, but yeah, they kill his girlfriend, and then he spends years kind of doing his own thing, trying to find the guys who did it, and then he ends up getting recruited into like a really super top secret anti-terrorism unit headed up by Michael Keaton.
Interesting.
Who plays like his mentor. And it was meant to be the beginning of a like a franchise. It didn't do too well, so
so they probably just kinked it.
yeah, they canked it. So,
Okay.
But Michael Keaton plays he's like a real hard nosed dude. Like he gets captured at one point, and they're like torturing him. They're like breaking his fingers and stuff like that. And he's just making fun of him and like tearing him down the whole time. They're like hitting him and stuff. He's like, "That all you got? Is that the best you could do?" You know? He's like super hardcore.
That's awesome.
But yeah, American Assassin. Anyway, not an invasion movie, but your beach resort assassination killings made me think of it. But
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, we can't talk about invasions without obviously revisiting a very famous movie that we've mentioned numerous times in this podcast. But it's like, this is the invasion
It's
of
the
invasion.
It's the quintessential 80s invasion movie.
Yeah. Back to Red Dawn.
Back to Red Dawn.
We're here again.
we don't
Welcome.
have to. Yeah, we don't have to.
We don't
take
have to
too much time
elaborate,
on
but
this,
it's. I had to mention it because that is the invasion of invasions. Like having.
Yeah.
Let me read you what I wrote for the combo intro. Okay. When you find the enemy's dirty ass boots on your home turf, it's game on. That's all I want to say. It's good. Literally, I think, and we've said this before, like when we did the aliens one,
Yep.
is, when you find a common enemy, regardless of political beliefs or, culture, we're united.
Yeah, it's a uniting kind of thing.
And, a perfect example of that is 9/11.
Yeah, just right.
Perfect, yeah.
Right after 9/11.
Right after 9/11.
Didn't last.
No,
but
yeah. But, and let's use a better one. Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. Great.
Pearl Harbor. We're attacked on U.S. soil.
Yep.
I don't think there was any objection to go and fuck people up after that.
Yeah. It really. Yeah.
It was a very uniting event.
Yeah. It was
I mean,
a very uniting
tragic,
event.
but if I would assume, and this is with the greatest assumption and the most optimistic assumption, that if U.S. had any type of invasion at this point, grab your gun,
Yeah.
kids. We're going to fucking war.
I'd like to think that that's true. I think we get a little caught up in partisanship and media stuff, social media stuff. But some part of me thinks that like if something like that happened, we'd left and right and center, we'd all pick up our guns.
I mean,
and be like, all right, let's
Ukraine's
go.
a perfect example.
Yeah.
And they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, they
for
are,
what
man.
they
They're
got.
literally, we're living in a very weird time because this is something that we've heard about, like it's massive invasion of a giant world power into a country, and everybody's being pulled in. I don't care what Cold War never ended. This is just a continuation.
This isn't a political podcast.
This is not a political podcast. But anyway, yes, no, it's
Just using it as an example.
I feel weird saying it because it's like actually happening. Like we're sitting here and we're recording a podcast and it's great and I'm having a good time and people are over there like right now, like fighting to defend the very existence of this country.
School
so.
teachers,
School
businessmen, rich, poor, doesn't matter. Pick up an AK and fucking, sorry, my Russian citizens, and fucking schwack Ruskies. But
only within the border.
only within the border, yes, not anywhere else. But I think that's a great example of like unity against, something's happening, we're all in it together.
Right. Well, what we're talking about, one of my favorite lines is in the movie is they've got the captured Russian soldier and then the collaborator, and they're going to execute him, basically. And it's like really heavy and serious because like they're teenage kids and they're about to execute somebody like point blank. And the one kind of like guy on their side, he's like, why do we have to do this, huh? What's the difference between them and us? And Patrick Swayze's like, we live here. And he like blows them both away. And it's like, that's pretty simple, man.
It, man.
Doesn't get more simple than that.
Easy answer. Yeah. It's a difference when it's your homeland you're fighting to protect what's yours.
Yeah.
So, going to Ukraine. This is not a political podcast. Okay, one I wanted to talk about is, I found this one interesting because I guess it's sort of an invasion, but it happens for 12 hours once a year. And it's not an invasion of anybody else except for your neighbors.
Yep.
So, The Purge.
The Purge, yeah.
The Purge. First time we've talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah, this is the first time, yeah.
Yeah,
Ethan Hawke, Lena Headey.
Yeah,
Kind of more affluent people, they've got the whole lockdown thing.
Yeah, so basically the world has become peaceful. Like crime is down, like murders are down, everything's down, and it's all because they allow once a year for 12 hours, there's no rules.
Yep.
So like
all crime is legal,
all crime
including
is legal.
murder.
You can do anything you want, which is street cleaner.
What is that? Sounds like somebody's like dragging something, like a metal thing.
Might be a truck. You can hear it in the headphones?
Let me just...
Very lightly.
I think it's like somebody's watching something, like a movie or something like that.
Anyways, it's getting lower.
Okay.
Chris, cut this out. So, it's okay.
Okay, good. All right.
So for 12 hours, all crime is legal, right?
Yeah.
And there's been a couple purges since the original, right?
Right.
And it's by Universal, right? Because when you go to Universal Horror Nights once a year,
they
have a
the
Purge section,
Purge section,
which honestly I don't think is that scary.
No, it's not.
Kind of sounds fun.
No, no, it's not. It's not all that scary.
Yeah.
And Universal Studios, side note, Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, I don't think is as fun. They've got the intellectual properties, but it's very corporate, so they have to be very safe. If you want a real scary thing, you go down to Not Scary Farm, a couple miles south of here, because they don't have any of the actual... You're not going to get attacked by Freddy or Jason, but they don't have as many rules. So they can come after you.
A little bit more
They get more in your face and stuff. They're more dedicated. What they lack in prestige, they make up for in passion.
I actually don't think I've been to Not Scary Farm.
Ooh.
I've only
Maybe
been
this year,
to...
now that things are coming back,
Yeah, I've been to Horror Nights, and I've been to the Six Flags.
Okay.
Never
been to Six Flags.
You haven't been? It's like their...
Tower of Scream, or
I don't know.
Screamy
roller coaster screams.
Scary Scream.
But Fright Nights.
There you go,
Thank
Fright
you.
Nights.
Yeah, so Fright Night. But never been to that one. But going back to the Purge, what would you bundle up during that 12, or would you just focus on defense, keep them all out, or would you go purge the fuck out of people?
I mean, I'd have to be like defensive and stuff like. There's nobody I'm gonna go. I want to kill. Like there's it's there'd be nobody I'd want to go like kill.
Yeah, because I know in the movies like it's really, there was another one where like there's this chick and she's in the liquor store and she's like giving the dude a hard time and he like kicks her out of the liquor store and she's like, oh, remember this? And it was like the night before the Purge, so like she comes back with like her crew and shoots up the place, but they end up schwacking her.
Well, I haven't seen the second one, but I like the premise with Frank Grillo where he's like out for revenge, but then he ends up kind of helping some people out.
Yeah, so it's cool. I like the how there's I like this line in the synopsis here, and it's like James, Mary, and their 2 children struggle to survive the night while trying not to turn into monsters like the ones they're striving to avoid.
Yeah, this one they're all locked up and they're kind of safe, but then a guy comes to their home and like please like begs to be let in. But then it turns out that he's kind of being chased by these other dudes, And
it's very interesting because it's kind of like an irony in there that like it's even though it still gives power to like the rich of the world because they're completely protected with their security systems
Right.
and they're able to afford this, but the poor man is the one doing the purging because he doesn't really have a defense. He only has offense and to go do these things. And it's just like putting the poor against the poor, and it
it's a
becomes
very
some
classic
political
trope.
thing.
Yeah, it's a classic kind of the 1%er kind of commentary on that.
Exactly.
Kind of thing,
But I think it's a very interesting idea.
home invasion.
Yeah, home invasion.
Yes.
Invasion of privacy.
Yep.
And it could be your neighbor, right? And like people could be plotting against you. I think
Yep.
that's the first one. Like it actually turns out to be the neighbors.
Yeah.
And they're all like in the neighborhood, like waving at each other. And that night, the neighbors like try to kill them.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's like nuts. Very interesting premise as far as invasions. I thought it was worthy of a shout.
Yeah. They kind of degraded since then. you
Yeah,
know?
no, it's like we got to keep making sequels of something that's just fine for one movie.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's like it happens once a year. That doesn't mean a movie has to come out every year.
Yeah, well, Blumhouse, the only movie that doesn't make money is the last one, or the only sequel that doesn't make money is the last one.
Yeah, I do appreciate the costumes get cooler and cooler though as like
Yeah.
they're doing, like they're not good movies, but like the creativity behind the costumes and stuff.
All the different identity hiding costumes.
Yeah, it's just like who cares? It's like if you're purging, man. Why are you trying to hide it?
Yep.
But anyways,
Independence Day.
of course.
Real quick, we've talked about it before, but obviously super big budget invasion movie. That one was kind of one of those game changers because it was like, I don't know how about like it was like one of those world-ending mega disaster Roland Emmerich movies that like really put him on the map.
Yeah.
Not
Will
that
Smith.
Yeah. Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, the famous Independence Day speech where he literally says, "Today we declare our Independence Day."
The first time the title of a movie is actually used in the movie.
Definitively in a major speech in the movie. But yeah, really cool one. I'm sure a lot of us grew up watching that one. I remember I actually worked at a movie theater the year that came out, so I could see it for free. Yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Welcome to Earth, bitch.
That's right. That's what I call a close encounter. So many great lines, so many wonderfully cheesy lines.
Yeah. Speaking of cheesy, Mars Attacks.
Yes,
that's a cheesy movie.
Same year, actually, 1996.
Yes, that's a cheesy. I feel like they both same goal.
Yeah.
Different outcomes.
Yeah.
Or different executions, same goal.
Yeah, very different. Well, I mean, I guess I can appreciate the quirkiness of it all. I actually did not like this movie very much.
No, it's terrible
It was a little
movie.
too out there for me.
It did have a crazy cast though. Like I wonder what the budget on the movie was to just retain all those
Jack
people.
Nicholson, Michael J. Fox,
Jack Black's in it.
Yeah, Jack
And
Black.
Jack Black is like in it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, Tom Jones, has a song in there. The one dude at the Pharaoh's place, the boxer dude.
Yeah.
I just think it's
That was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it's a great big ensemble cast, but I'm not a big fan. I know
mean,
a lot of people.
who directed that one?
Oh, that was Tim Burton.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's a very Tim Burton-y movie.
Yeah,
It's
very
weird.
Tim
It's
Burton.
out there.
He
It's
is.
super Tim Burton.
He's like an artist,
Yeah, he's an artist. Yes.
But let's talk. I want to talk about this one real quick. The inciting event or the inciting incident for the entire movie is an invasion and occupation of a small nation. But Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Miyazaki,
Here
Studio
we go.
Ghibli, 1984. I saw this in 1986 or 7 on HBO. Before HBO was like anything, and they were just desperate for content. Like I saw this on HBO and was like, it was called Warriors of the Wind at the time. And so I know
It's
I've
the
talked
one
about it before.
this chick that like drives the kite around.
Yeah, the cloud climber.
Yeah.
Princess Nausicaa. She was Princess Zandra in the not very well dubbed English version that I saw earlier. Not the one with the newer one with Patrick Stewart and Shia LaBeouf and stuff like that. But because they redubbed it, Disney bought all the Studio Ghibli movies and they redubbed them with famous actors. But basically, they're a peaceful planet. The world is overrun mostly by toxic jungle, like these toxic spores. And this larger nation comes in and just totally invades them because a cargo ship carrying a really like an ancient fire being crashes in the valley, and they try to help them out, stop it, and then that nation comes in and invades and takes them over, and stuff. So, but if you haven't seen it, if you're an anime fan, you probably have seen it. But if you love anime and you love Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli films, that to me was so seminal in my interest. Like that changed my life in terms of the things that I enjoy and like sci-fi fantasy. So anyway, I got to bring it up every time.
Well, there's one more that I need to bring up that may be the greatest invasion movie of all time in cinematic history. Monsters vs. Aliens.
you're
2009.
gonna have to take this one because I've actually not seen this
Susan.
one. I know.
No, this is a complete joke. I threw it in there because I watched it the other night out of
Oh, you
boredom.
did?
Yeah, no, it's like so. This giant, basically, this lady gets hit with like a comet, and she becomes like supersized, and she's considered a monster, even though she's just like if you grew to like 6 stories high,
You're just
6
stories high.
you just be Israel.
Yeah.
Oh no! Here comes Israel.
Is that what they do? Here comes Susan.
Yeah, she's like, it's Susan, and it's got I've seen an animated movie, and it just has it's Seth Rogen,
Ginormica.
yeah, they call her, yeah, and basically this giant, the government renames her Ginormica, but because they're like, ooh, Susan, it wouldn't be as scary. But then the government takes her over, and they have like this team of actual monsters. There's like a cockroach guy.
This big blob guy?
Yeah, big blob.
Okay,
Bob the Blob. That's
Bob
Seth
the
Rogen.
Blob. Okay.
And pretty much. Then a giant robot lands on Earth and tries to take it over, and they have to fight this giant robot with the government. It's just silly and it's entertaining.
It looks fun. It's got
a
like a big
fun-
like giant animal thing, little like dumb looking little animal thingy.
Yeah. That's pretty
okay.
much it. There's all these weird characters and they're monsters. But I mean, the cast is like pretty famous people. It's like, what
Reese
was this?
Witherspoon. Yeah. Hugh Laurie as Dr. Cockroach.
Yeah, I just had to throw it in there because I was bored and I had to think of an invasion movie, and I was like, yeah, that's an invasion.
It looks like a throwback to kind of the classic 1950s and 60s monster movies, like
Yes,
the big
it's
epic, but with classical designs and stuff, like the government secret lab, and like she gets hit by a meteor and becomes giant, like she would die. That would be just the result. She would just die.
Yeah,
but monsters versus aliens. There's a bunch of. I mean,
there's a lot of invasion,
a lot.
This
Stuff.
episode could be so much more long.
Yeah.
But I'll just hit it with some honorable mentions. So obviously, if you guys know me, Gears of War.
Gears
Sorry, I had a
of
burp.
War. No.
Yeah, Gears of War,
Gears
Locust
of War.
Invasion, right?
Yep.
From the center of the earth.
What's the famous one that was the original that Tom Cruise was in, the Steven Spielberg one? They remade it.
Saving Private Ryan.
No.
That's an invasion. That's a D-Day invasion.
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds. That's the one I was
War
going
of
to
the
think of.
Worlds.
Yeah, War of
Yes.
the Worlds. That's an honorable mention, obviously. That's classic invasion kind of thing. Really, like, epically done, obviously.
Jeez, I'm surprised we didn't do that for the Aliens episode.
We've mentioned it before.
We haven't mentioned War of the Worlds, have we?
War of the Worlds? Oh,
No, we have
Oh, wow.
not. Wow, there
and
it is.
we barely mentioned it for the invasion.
Oh,
We'll have
just
to,
made
we'll have to
honorable mentions.
circle back
Jesus,
around.
Girls Circle, season 2.
We'll have a Tom Cruise
We
episode.
have a whole episode dedicated to all of the different aliens in pop culture.
All the different aliens in pop
Every single
culture,
alien.
especially the aliens
Yeah.
from
The
1986's
Start
Aliens
with
movie.
xenomorphs,
The
we can move into, the tripods.
I feel like we've done. Yeah,
We'll have
yeah.
a vote on this.
We'll have a vote. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if we're talking about video games, Mass Effect 2 and 3.
Yep.
I'm on Mass Effect 3 now in my stream. It's an amazing series.
Who's invading?
The Reapers.
The Reapers.
The Reapers. They're giant calamari ships. They look like giant calamari.
Okay.
But they're millions of years old. They've conquered civilization a couple of times through, and then civilization will come back, and then they've conquered. This time, Commander Shepard is after. They're going to stop them.
They're going to stop
And I'm almost fully built up with all my side missions and the DLC and stuff. So we're going to stop them.
We're going to stop
There's like
them.
a minimum threshold in the last game. You have to build up your forces.
Oh, really?
And there's like a minimum threshold. We're past the threshold, but I want to max it out before we attack.
Oh, you want to be sure.
Oh, yeah. I want to be
yeah.
sure.
Okay, other honorable mention. I see you put Pacific Rim here.
Pacific Rim, only because we've talked about it so
Pacific
many
Rim
times.
Job.
So, yeah,
Yep.
you guys know
it's been
Pacific
a lot.
Rim.
All the
from another dimension.
what are they called again? The robots.
The Jaegers versus the
Jaegers.
Kaiju.
The Kaiju and the I just have to remember Jägermeister.
Yep.
Robots.
I suppose all the Godzilla movies could be considered invasion movies because he invades Japan. Just always. Poor Japan.
Poor
man. It's
Japan.
Like, they got enough problems, man.
Ground Zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
No, other honorable mention, the Dead Space series.
Dead Space.
2 specifically because the marker and the necromorphs take over an entire city station,
I
called
see.
the Sprawl.
And I think the final honorable mention, Game of Thrones. A lot of different invasions happening.
Yeah,
in
there
I like
are
the
things
invasion of the
invading.
dead. You got the invasion of people. You got invasion of
The encroaching,
dragons.
yeah.
There's a lot of different invasions.
Yeah,
there.
Daenerys invades the mainland, then she invades the south.
Yeah.
The White
dead,
Walkers are
come from
coming
the north.
for 8 seasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still coming.
They've been
They come.
coming.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, you
But-
still got to watch that last season.
Yep.
Did you? Oh, no, you quit Game of Thrones.
No,
you watched
I
it?
watched it all. I just try to stop at the 7th season because that's when the series stops being good.
I see.
Even the 7th season, they started. You could tell they started running out of ideas.
And started shaking.
Yeah.
Showing ass.
Wait, one more video game honorable mention: the XCOM series.
The XCOM.
We've talked about before, but I just want to, that's classic Alien Invasion, turn-based strategy game, building up your forces against the evil aliens. And they got the classic-looking ones with the big heads, the gray aliens, and then you got the psychic aliens. You got all the gorilla aliens that are coming at you. So it's cool.
Yeah, a lot of it stuff to do with you got alien invasions, monster invasions, people invasions, invasions of privacy.
I tried to think of something that was more like an invasion of the mind. There's that movie Upgrade. Did you ever see Upgrade?
Like reading people's minds and stuff?
No, it was the poor man's Tom Hardy, Logan Marshall Green. Basically, he gets injured in his spine. He has a spinal injury in the neck. He's totally paralyzed. But then he gets this experimental program that bridges the gap, and it's an AI system that if he gives it control of his body, it can take over, and he's like an awesome fighter and stuff.
I guess. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I guess you could say Face Off is an invasion too.
Yeah, face invasion.
Face invasion.
And,
he takes over his life. It's a life invasion.
Home
Life
invasion.
Face Off is a great movie.
Invisible Man.
Nick Cage. Classic.
I want to go see the unbearable
weight of
massive talent.
Yeah, massive talent. That's actually at the top of my very, 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 very long list of movies to watch after
Face
doing
Off?
this. No.
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah, massive talent. I think that's gonna be hilarious.
You can tell my brain is starting to shut down because I forgot what you just said.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't blame you. But all right, this week's question comes to us from one of our biggest supporters, Cameron Fath, and I want to know, what do you guys want to hear in season 2? We really, really, really can't thank you enough. Really.
Hello.
Can't thank you. Hello. Can't really thank you guys enough for all the interaction, but I am here asking for your aid once more.
Yeah, folks. Let us know what. It's always going to be centered around the tagline, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. So the pop culture field manual. But, there's obviously we love lists and stuff like that. We love the list. Basically, that's pretty much what this is. It's a list episode. But, what other kind of ideas do you guys have? What other kind of things breaking down?
What do you want to hear?
Don't ask us. So don't ask us to. Don't ask us about.
Foreign militaries
we work with. Don't ask us for advice for
selection?
Ranger School and selection. Don't ask us those.
Tune into Shift Fire for that.
Yeah. You don't need to ask about aliens because I will continue to bring it up. So don't worry about that.
Guarantee.
But let us know, you guys. There's a great big world out there. I want to do more like foreign movies. That would take a little more research. I feel like in the new season, I'm gonna have to start coming up with like a regular rhythm of watching movies and stuff that I haven't seen before because I know I've gotten recommendations of foreign movies, like films from India or films from Japan or something like that. Like we can start getting into that. It would I think the big thing for me in the next season is more research.
Yeah,
well,
more research, and then we want to be thorough. But let us know your ideas. Give us more questions. That's always a main point. But this is your chance to shine. Hit our email at pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you want in season 2. We will try our very best to bring you somewhat of what you want.
Yeah.
based on the capabilities of our limitations.
Season 2 entails us not completely ignoring you guys.
Absolutely. Well, I invented a game for us, and this is going to be very interesting, honestly.
Yeah.
It's because me and Israel are going to sound like stupid people.
Yeah, we're gonna sound like we're in the wacko the rubber room ward of the hospital.
And before we start this, is this gonna be a copyright issue if we hum tunes?
I don't think so. No, as long as we don't play it.
Yeah, we won't play it.
Okay.
We
It's
are
just us
completely
humming.
recreating the sounds with
With our
ourselves, and I don't think that's a problem, right?
If for some reason YouTube has an issue with it, I'll deal with it. But
Okay.
We shouldn't have an issue.
Chris, cut this out.
Chris can keep it in.
Chris, cut this out. All right, so this game is called Hum It Like You Mean It. And
Like you mean it.
And so for this game, we're going to take turns humming famous movie tunes or famous tunes that we probably would recognize if played, but not necessarily if hummed. So each person will hum a tune for around 20 seconds or until you you believe it's a good idea.
Okay.
It's recognizable.
Yeah.
And the other will have to guess what the other person is humming.
Nice.
Sounds easy?
Let's get it.
It might not be, because when I hum, my lips get tingly. I'm gonna try not to crack up. Okay, are you ready for round one? I'll
do it.
start. Okay.
I got
And
mine.
plus, I have to remember how these tunes go.
Yeah,
so-
I'm thinking. I'm like, wait, how does that? Oh, okay.
Okay.
You get the vibrato. I have no idea.
You
what
don't?
That
You want me
was.
to do it again?
Yeah, do it again. Okay. Are you humming the melody or the lyrics? Are you humming the
entire
melody?
thing.
Oh, okay, all right. It all
I'm
goes
trying my
together.
best to hit all the pieces.
Oh,
the
man.
cymbal, the guitars, the
Oh,
voice.
okay.
Here we go. I'll start from the
Okay.
chorus.
Last time. Oh, it's the theme song of the freaking podcast.
It's the pop culture field manual.
You did
There
it.
you go. Yeah. There you go.
I was thinking, like, he is seriously not humming.
You were. Come on, man. It's the fucking podcast theme song.
Oh man.
Oh.
See, it's that part of the brain that when you're thinking about going to the store to get something, you know it, and then when you get to the store, you forget it because the
Yeah.
pressure's on now. So, all right, I took it. Well,
No,
I guess
it
we're
took a
both
little bit.
take it easy on each other
Okay.
because, all right,
Your turn. I'm ready.
let me see. I'm gonna try to get a hard part of it because I think you're gonna get this, but.
Oh, it's Lord of the Rings.
Okay, all right,
The,
okay.
the Shire song.
The Shire song, okay,
It's
good.
the Shire song.
Very
That was a
specific
good.
one.
That was an easy one.
Okay,
That's,
all right.
yeah, that's a hard one to f***
We
up.
both started easy, so.
See, I tried to pick this one. You're probably gonna get this one, honestly.
Oh, man. Don't say that.
I don't know. I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna
You
get
ready?
It. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
See, this
I
is
just gotta
my
figure out what
season,
part I
This
wanna-
is my season 2 vow. It's to stop down talking myself so
Yeah,
much.
have some confidence.
I backpedal so much. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get this one.
I'm gonna
Okay,
get
let
it.
Because if I do the intro, you'll probably get it. Hold on.
Eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger. There you go. Eye of the tiger.
You got it.
I'm glad I got you. I should have let you go.
You should. You probably should. I was even going.
Oh, that's so recognizable. That's good, man.
I should
Now-
have picked a harder one.
This one's a little bit harder. This one's a little bit
Okay.
harder, but it's. Well, let me just do
I'm
it. and then
a
I'll
pop
give
a
you-
blood
yeah.
vessel from trying so.
You gotta go from the diaphragm.
Diaphragm.
All right. No,
It's not Star Wars?
Nope,
Dun,
nope.
dun,
I'll
dun,
get-
dun,
nope.
dun, dun. It's not?
because it would sound like that if it was.
Sorry. Sorry.
Let me. It's okay. I'll give you a hint. It's a recent movie. That's the most recognizable part of the entire song. I literally don't remember.
Is it? Can I ask you if someone's singing during that, or
No,
that's just the tune?
it's the tune. There's no lyrics. It's an orchestral piece
Oh,
from a recent movie.
I'm blanking. I have no idea.
I'll do it one more time.
I don't think you need to do it again. It's very.
It is. This was a bit of a stretch because I didn't want to take it totally easy on you, but it's the Batman.
I would
saw
never
it.
have gotten that.
You never gotten that?
I
You don't
just
remember
watched it, but
oh, okay. I thought it was pretty iconic, you know.
Really?
And very simple. Dun 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 dun. That's it. I mean, that's all there is to the theory.
if you got that and you're listening to us, you're a freak. There's no way.
All right, that's the last hard one because I think you're gonna get all the rest, though. Which is
See, you hit me with a curveball here. We're in round 5, and I feel like you're gonna get all mine relatively easier because they're iconic.
yep.
But I'll try it anyways. I'm trying to figure out. I only know 5 words of this song, and I'm trying to think of it. I'll just try to go for it.
Highway to the Danger Zone from Top Gun.
Yes, there you go. See, I feel like a fool now. I should have picked something way harder. This is what happens when you Google iconic theme songs because you're not creative enough to come up with crazy ones.
That was literally in my whole list. That was the only creative one. I have an extra one for you, actually.
Do
I want
you?
to know if you get it. But this will be round 6. This is my last official one. Is
it Superman?
Yep, Superman.
Okay.
There you go. 80s
Dang,
Superman.
80s. Yeah, I was gonna say that's old school.
Yeah, I don't. The theme for the new Superman movie is not recognizable to me. Like I can't even think of it what it is, you know. And I wonder if I did the other What's the other Batman? Like the Christopher Nolan. Like it's like. Wait, no, I don't. That's not. That's the classic Batman.
That's a classic. That's probably what's his name? I don't remember. That seems to be the case.
Henry Mancini. I got one more.
Okay, bonus.
Yeah.
Is that Baby Metal?
That's Baby Metal.
Nah.
Yeah. Give me chocolate.
Yeah, give me chocolate. I'm surprised. Like, it took me a while to. Yeah. If you haven't heard of Baby Metal, go check it out. If you like metal music and tiny Asian women. I mean, never mind. They're minors. Okay.
Yeah.
Not in that way. If
I
you
mean,
like,
well, if you can like them, you can respect them
you
as
can respect
artists.
them.
You know.
Yeah. No, I mean like as performers.
Yes.
If you like, I'm digging myself.
Go
into a
check out
Go
Baby
check out
Metal. Go
Baby
check it
Metal.
out.
Tell me what you think of it. It's very interesting.
And with that, folks, with that inauspicious end, this brings us to the close of episode 51 and the end of our first season of Pop Culture Food and Mania podcast.
Give you guys a round of applause for making it this far.
We're not going to be gone long, folks. Don't
No.
worry. Just stay in your cars until the next time we meet.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you guys
Crack the
being
window,
here.
though.
Yeah, we're still around. We're not going anywhere. You can catch me on twitch.tv/myhappyself or on Instagram, myhappyself2. You can catch us on the Instagram, PCFM Podcast Instagram. Write us an email, pcfmpodcast@gmail.com. We just need, Shift Fire on YouTube, which is our new YouTube channel. We're all over Gameologies, Spec Ops React stuff, Total Recoil, all that kind of thing. So, yeah, we're around, folks. We're just going to take a bit of a break and rejigger some stuff and let our good buddy Chris
Settle in.
Yeah, settle in where he's at, where he's moving to, and so we'll be back. Man.
We ain't going nowhere, so crack the windows.
And cue music.